Well, I can't do a video about mistakes if I don't show you that I'm at least trying to fix some of mine. But just remember, the hardest part of this 3 miles that I just walked was the first mile, because I haven't done it in a while. The 3 miles down and I haven't even stopped yet. Because remember, your mistakes do not define you. Your mistakes are not who you are. It's only a mistake if you don't learn from it. Let's get into it. What is going on, you guys, and welcome into another one. I know it's not Sunday when I promised you the last one, but got a lot I want to get into, so we're going to go ahead and get the video started. To the new subscribers, welcome in. To the usual suspects, welcome back. We are reloaded, back on our way. Kind of going to talk real quick about the journey, because this was our first week as a owner-operator with our own truck, doing our own thing. It was anything less than eventful. That would be not my style. You guys know that. So I'll go into that, kind of talk about what we're going to go into, and then obviously I'll talk about the title, which is very important to me and something that I think a lot about. But, you know, we got up and we were going into Wyoming, and I told you I was kind of worried about the permit, and I stopped at the first way station and I got my permit. It was $15. It was what it was, right? Book it through Wyoming, get to Casper, no big deal, go through there. That port entry was closed. And then I get into, I don't even know the name of it, but the northern Wyoming way station, and I get pulled in. No big deal, it's a port of entry. They're pulling everybody in, it's just kind of what they do. So I get in, and the truck in front of me gets the bypass, and I'm like, well, I'm surely I'm going to get the bypass because I'm not overweight. They have the way in motion. And then this happens. Man.
Your height sensor, just set the height sensor off, so I gotta check your height.
Okay. Now, you know, I had made the height on my load. I knew exactly how tall my load was, so I was not even the least bit worried about him saying that I set off the height sensor. You liar!
Yeah, you're right on the edge of being over height.
Yeah.
Okay, pull around, bring your permit, we'll get it.
Yes, sir. Okay, yeah, so like I was really worried about the height sensor, but I knew how tall I thought my load was. We'd measured it twice, and I had actually measured it in Colorado, but I didn't even know these places had height sensors. So that was a new one for me. And so again, just pass the information on to you guys. Hey, you're going to Wyoming, be careful with how tall you are. But anyway, we got into Montana, got all the way, got delivered, went into Olympia, met a subscriber. I haven't met many of my subscribers, so I met Yuri up there, shook his hand, and got to talk to him. Really cool guy. So it's kind of cool to actually meet somebody that watches your videos. And so it was time to find a reload. And I'm not telling you to do what you do, or telling you to do what I do. Do whatever makes you happy. But by the time I got unloaded, you remember, I'm Pacific Coast time now. I've been watching the load board, hadn't seen anything really that interesting. I went 10 miles, got parked, and then it's noon in the West Coast, so it's 2, 3, 4 o'clock where the loads are, and there was just nothing that I saw that I was going to go haul. I wasn't going to go haul 48,000 pounds for $1.25 a mile. Even with my step deck, it wasn't going to happen. So I said, you know what? We know we're 2 hours behind everybody, 3 hours depending. Most brokers I find are in the middle of the country. We're just going to take some time off, rest from our trip up, and get another load.
You serious?
And that's exactly what happened. I got up at 6 o'clock the next morning, on Tuesday morning, and boom, where there were no loads, there were a bunch of loads, and I found one $2.57 a mile going from Washington to Fort Collins, Colorado. Want to guess what it was? Shingles. Now, they were so adamant about getting 48,000 pounds on my trailer that I literally have a pallet with 4 packages so that I could haul 47,780. So I had them put a single pallet here, 2 straps in the first 5 feet. Now, you do you, but I put 2 straps on each one all the way down. And you'll notice that they have a flat one here and then a long one here. So they're laid flat, flat, flat with a long one above it. Now what you can do is take this one, pull it up, flip it, set it up here, and run a single strap. But as far as I was going, as heavy as I was going, and being a new authority, I said screw it. We're gonna go ahead and double strap them. And then we have this space, because when they put those two, which are originally up here, had 29,000 pounds on a single axle, and you can't do that in flatbed. So I said, hey, do what we gotta do, just put these two smack dab on the axle. And believe it or not, we are 19,960 on this axle. Perfect there. We got 39,000 pounds on the trailer, and then we got 31 on the truck. But that is why I love shingles. No tarp, throw some straps, edge protectors, and with the step deck, look, I don't even have to reach to put my edge protectors, man. This step deck is the bee's knees. So let's get into the rest of the video. Everybody's favorite, or at least my favorite. I don't know if it's your favorite, but you know, I really was happy with this load. As you could tell, it was a little peculiar as I went over when talking about the secure end, because 48,000 pounds and I'm 31.9. You do the math. But I weighed the scales and I knew the scales, but until you go across that first weigh station, you never really know. It's kind of like I knew I was under 14, but you never know till you get across that first weigh station. But I got across the first weigh station. It's been smooth sailing. It's amazing how you can travel the same road in different directions. This has been a breeze. Heading back again, I said I'm outside of Billings. I stopped in Billings on the way back up. So we're going to go to Fort Collins, and we are going to deliver. And so our first week as an owner-operator, we will have done $8,200 on 2 non-tarp loads. So I'm very happy with that. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of the subject and why I titled this video what I did. So depending upon who you ask, they will say, you know, well,
the most expensive thing in trucking is keeping your fuel costs.
I know that I've said that the most expensive thing in trucking is breakdowns, because you got the parts, the downtime, the loss of revenue, all of that. You know, it depends who you ask, but I want you to think outside the box on this one, because I really do believe and have seen this in, it's almost the same thing as in life. It's not just specific to trucking, but the most expensive thing out here in trucking is the simple fact that you don't know what you don't know. I have inserted the quote in here before where I've said, you know, you only know what you think you know, which means that you don't know what you don't know. And the amount of time and money that that can cost you is insane. Now, you can do all the research you want. I have done research upon research, and you just can't know what you don't know. I can think of a company or two that I went and leased onto, thought I knew everything I needed to know to be successful there, got there, and that wasn't the case. The reason it was successful is because I was wrong. I didn't ask all the right questions. I thought I did, and maybe one day I'll put out a video of, hey, here's all the questions I didn't ask. But, you know, and I've gone to a company and I've signed lease documents and paid escrows and put money down, and then it didn't work out because I screwed up. But I guarantee you that cost me way more money than miles per gallon in fuel. And it's the same thing with buying this truck. You know, I thought I knew what route I wanted to run, but I had never run it with flatbed. So as much as I looked at load boards, as much as I paid attention to the price of fuel, I didn't know. God love Babe. This truck, she's amazing. I love her. She's comfortable. Here's the problem with Babe. Babe has 264 gears. She is made for the highway. Do you know what these mountains have been like with 48,000 pounds of shingles? Not like anything in TMC, but I thought I knew, I thought I figured out, because I'd done it in a box truck with a way lighter load than what I have now. I didn't know. I had an idea, but I've learned now. And it's the same thing with going to Fort Collins. Yes, Fort Collins is a decent paying load, especially for what they were wanting. But guess what they don't have in Fort Collins? Reloads. I thought they had some. I had seen some pop up. I'm not saying I won't get one. It's amazing with the load board is there'll be no loads, and then the day of the loads, it's all the loads the contract carriers couldn't take. But right now, I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to get home, if I'm even going to go home. I'd like to run till next week, but who can know? You don't know what you don't know. So gaining experience is paramount, and it's paramount to you. And you have to be able to ask the questions that pertain to you. Because I may know a whole lot about something, but if it's my situation is different than yours and it doesn't pertain to you, you can't learn from me. That's why I always say, be very careful where you get your information from. So you want to know the most expensive thing in trucking? It's a simple fact that you don't know what you don't know. So try and figure out what you need to know. Figure out what is important to you before you go to a company. Figure out what is important to you before you buy a truck. Figure out everything you can. But here's the thing. You have to be honest with yourself. You know, if you're just coming up with ideas and say, I think I want this, or if you're making a decision about I need X amount of dollars a week, then you don't know what you don't know, and you can get yourself in a jam. Ask me how I know. And so I'm trying to make these videos about mistakes that I've made. And so this video will actually lead into another video that I have planned. But right now, we're going to get finished with this. We're going to enjoy our evening. We're going to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning so we can deliver our load a day early and get on down the road. So that's what it is. We are doing awesome. We had a very successful first week. I'm super excited. Let's see what the future holds. God bless, and let's get rolling.